Dirt roads to rock crawling, two-buck chuck to screaming eagle, moonshine to 50-year-old single malt. We talk about it all here on Wheelin' Wine and Whiskey with your hosts, Jason and Chris.
Welcome to the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey Podcast, episode 339 from the Lake Bed, KOH 2026. Chris, how the hell are you?
I'm doing great.
What day is this for you on the Lake Bed? I don't even know anymore. I've lost count.
5, 6, I don't even know.
See? It's a freaking blur at this point. It's UTV race day. It's Thursday. It sounds like a bunch of bees outside the camper here. Golf carts running on the course. Yeah, we're here for another podcast. I got to give a shout out to a few people that have stopped by the hospitality trailer here.
Oh, yeah.
We just call it the hospitality.
Wonderful hospitality trailer.
We got quite a bottle selection behind me. We have a few bottle kills to the right of me, but I got to shout out some people that have dropped some stuff off here on the lake bed to us and shared some whiskey with us in no particular order because I just jotted shit down real quick this morning. Jimmy Jet from the Snail Boys brought by a bottle of rye Portero. I'm going to grab this bottle real quick because it was hot as hell. I think it's 127.
I thought it was.
What does it say on there? 129.9. Holy hell.
Why didn't they just round it up to 130? Is there a law about that?
That one put me to sleep last night. That was my night drink. Yep. I ended with that one, and the flavors are crazy on that one. It's a rye. Horton left yesterday, but he threw in his bottle of Basil Hayden, so appreciate that. You know, we call that the Sauvignon Blanc of whiskeys on this podcast. Chris Ray.
Oh, yeah, Chris Ray. Was he here?
He was here.
I missed him.
And he left a bottle of whiskey-flavored fudge for us. And what was cool is he was right seating for Randy, right, in the 4800 tomorrow. He'll be his right seat. But during qualifying, they qualified first.
In the 4800 car.
In the 4800 car, correct. And so I went over there and talked to him. He goes, "Come to my camper. I got something for you." And gave me that, and we celebrated with a shot of whiskey in his camper. So
nice.
I did take a picture of it. I don't know where it is right now. And then James Goldman from Goldman Sachs. No, I don't know. He left a bottle of maple bourbon syrup on my camper last night.
We need to have pancakes. Then.
Sorry I missed you, James. Swing on by. We got plenty of whiskey here to sample. So anyways, had to give a shout out to a few people that have been contributing to the festivities here in the Wheeling Wine and Whiskey trailer.
Yeah, when I sat down with our guest here, I was looking over at the shelf, and I brought the stuff I brought. I brought a bottle of Johnny Walker Black Label and a bottle of Maker's Mark and a bottle of Woodford Reserve. As our listeners know, Woodford Reserve is one of my go-tos. It's just so delicious and flexible. The Maker's Mark has taken some hits, as has the Woodford Reserve, but the Buffalo Trace that I bought, that bottle's still sealed, so we're going to need to open that one up.
Well, and people, that's a sleeper, man. That is such a great value, great whiskey.
I know, it's made
that one. If you I got to have Blanton's or whatever. Dude, Buffalo Trace and Blanton's side by side, I dare you to tell the difference.
That's right.
And the Dirt Nerds dropped off a couple bottles that they've been sipping on too here. The Devil's Due.
I need to have that tonight. I've been eyeballing that.
It's really good. There's a little bit left of the other one, the Hammers Edition. Their other one on the top shelf. So, yeah, it's been fun. The Minden Mill's been going well, and, of course, Frey Ranch stuff. Anyways, we are here with a special guest, no stranger to the podcast.
Right.
Longtime friend of the podcast here. And we were able to stick a sticker on his car as new wrap. I didn't want to do it because it looked too fucking sexy.
We're so privileged.
But we did it. Eric Wicks is in the house. How you doing, Eric?
Good morning, guys. It's good to be back on the podcast.
It's good to have you back on the lake bed with a race car. How about that?
It's been a while. I'll just start off by saying I'm salivating because I've been relatively sober. I brought down, one bottle of bourbon, but I'm up here in Hammertown Heights Estates, which we'll call this the Whiskey Society up here. No joke, there is quite a selection up here.
Absolutely.
And, come Saturday, maybe after the race, I'll have to come back up here and do some sampling if there's anything left.
We're going to celebrate. We're going to celebrate your victory. You are my dark horse pick for this race. I called it out a couple weeks ago. After, our friendship and watching your car build and everything with Keith Beam, Get Bent Fab. And then we did Vegas to Reno. And I'm like, dude, this thing's an absolute fucking weapon.
Gosh, it is. And you just... You get in that thing and it makes you feel like you're right back in the game. And it's been 4 years since I've raced the 4400 class at King of the Hammers. I missed it. It's been a long time. It's good to be back, and I feel like we are back. We had a good qualifying run yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by some top talent. I beat some top talent in qualifying. With the limited miles we have on that car, it just goes to show how much of a weapon it is. And we're gonna try to stay in the mix on Saturday.
What was your strategy yesterday for qualifying? Because I know. Randy's told me, he goes, I don't like to be first. I like to chase people and hunt them down, and you get fired up about that. And then Randy had a great quote on his qualifying day of 4,800 saying there's a lot of races lost on the qualifying course, but none of them been, won per se. Don't hurt the car is what he was getting at. So what was your strategy going into yesterday's qualifying?
When I first showed up at the lake bed, I started thinking about that. And, qualifying can be one of those things where, you say you don't care where you qualify. You can end up in the back and come from the front. And, I'm looking out there this morning, and I'm happy that I'm a little bit closer to the front than the back, because there is absolutely zero wind. And I know you guys don't pray for wind, but I am praying for some wind.
No. I get it.
We like
wind up here.
A little bit of a breeze would be nice.
Yeah, breeze. We like the breeze.
So looking at that, it was let's be a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
There was absolutely zero sleep the night before. My wife was probably starting to lose her mind with how many times I was in and out of bed, and going through shifts and trying to figure out where I can pick up time. And but I figured I was going to be aggressive in the rocks. I picked my line early in the week through pre-running the qualifying course, so I knew what I wanted to do. In the rocks and on the hill climbs. One of the things that bit me was I didn't run the short course at all, and didn't have that opportunity.
Okay.
It just wasn't open when I was out there.
Gotcha.
So the short course kind of got me in qualifying yesterday. But overall, I couldn't be more happy with where I ended up.
Yeah, you were holding fourth place for the longest time, and then you got bumped to fifth and stuff. But I think you finished. What was your 17th?
Yeah, I think I was like between 5 or 7
forever,
and then they put in those.
Well, then they put in fucking racers. Cameron Steele, and all of a sudden Cameron Steele's second, and I'm like, what the fucking the three
Paul
desert
Horschel,
racers.
Cam Steele.
Yeah.
So I don't really have an opinion on that. I just it is what it is. It's done. There's nothing I can do to change it. But then Power Hour starts, and you see yourself sitting good, and then those guys, so much talent in Power Hour, and it was just falling down the line, one, and every once in a while I'd get one of them and keep holding my position. But without those 3 that they added in, I was 21st out of everybody who ran the qualifying course. And then when it all said and done, I'm starting a significant number to our team and to our crew. Zandy Williams, number 24.
There you go. How cool is that?
Yeah.
That might be a sign right there, right?
That fucker always finds a way to frickin' to put his stamp on something out here, and just show us that he's watching and that he's with us. So
that's cool. And we ran the Z-Walk trail the other day. I know you guys ran it the day before us and had a little festivities up there with Rufus and all the gang.
We brought a smudge pot up there, and Rockhold brought the barbecue, and we were doing dogs and burgers, and we got to hang out up there and have not just a beer. We did it the way Zandy would have wanted to, and we all had several and tipped one to him, and that's become a tradition every time we come down here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's super cool. And that trail's no joke, especially the top waterfall.
I had a feeling you'd bring that up because I think last year when we ran that, you got it in your buggy and I struggled. I didn't get it.
Yeah,
I didn't get that.
In your trail bomber. In your trail bomber.
In the trail bomber, yeah. It's a gnarly little obstacle up there, and it's the way it should be.
It really is. And so we went up there. Our buddy Big Pete stuck his nose in there, and he was leading our crew up, and he immediately backed out of it. And I'm like, oh, crap, okay, we're bailing out. And then so I walked down, and there was no tire tracks beyond that anymore. Nobody's gotten that this year that I saw. There was weeds that were perfectly intact. So I didn't know of anybody that's made that waterfall here.
I'll give it a go again. I will get it. I will get it.
You will get it. You will get it. Okay.
I will not let Zandy have that one.
Yeah. That's cool. I mean, there's so many stories from the lake bed down here, but it's cool that it brings a lot of people together, and that's a great tribute to Zandy there and what you guys do every year and hang out up there, and it's a cool deal. There's a plaque down at the bottom of the trail. Remembering him. So, okay, 24th. That's good. I like that. That's a good omen right there. You're at the front of the pack. Yeah, dust is definitely going to be an issue this year if we don't have any breeze, as Chris puts it, to clear the tracks. I don't know how you racers do it out in the desert. I mean, just our stupid little trail riding, wreck wheeling that we do, and we're wearing goggles and neck gaiters and shit and trying to see the car in front of us, and when we're going across the desert at like 30 miles an hour, and you guys are going frickin' 80 to 100. So,
I'm not one of those. I'm not one of those big ego race car guys.
Right.
I'm a rock crawler. I've been coming to King of the Hammer since 2008, wheeling these trails, and that's my favorite thing to do is get into the rocks. And now I'm in a little bit of a different car than I have been in previously. But speaking of dust is something that I'm going to be humble and honest.
Yeah.
It scares the shit out of me.
Yeah.
You get into that dust and you can't see and you can't stop because somebody's coming up behind you. So you got to keep moving. And, that's something that's on my mind right now. And just, driving through that dust and it hasn't rained in God knows how long here. And we just have that California sun drying it out, and these conditions are, if we don't get a little bit of wind, it's gonna add a whole nother level of navigation and discipline to stay on that line and keep moving forward.
Yeah,
it could lead to a long day.
To give people a point of reference, I mean, almost every year we've been here, as Eric just mentioned, there's been no rain in God knows how long. Usually there's ponds or puddles or little bodies of water that are isolated and spread out on the lake bed. There's nothing.
It's dry.
It's bone dry.
Yeah.
So, that's going to play a big part.
It's dry. I mean, it's give and take, right? We've had some awesome warm weather. And we're walking around in shorts yesterday in Hammertown and stuff, and that's great. But you don't get it all here. You don't get the perfect weather and the no dust and all that other stuff. So, okay. So now that you've had, how much seat time would you say in the car, like that you've had since it's been built?
We did Vegas to Reno in the car. That was awesome, man.
That was great.
Jason, you came
trip.
down, and James came down, and we had a good crew, and you guys were chasing us all day, and car was doing good, and we had our issues, but we made 270 miles that day.
That's right.
And
you wanted to keep going.
Well, I wanted to keep going, but also knew that something wasn't healthy.
Right.
And I think we made the right decision to call it when we did. And unfortunately, we lost a rocker arm at that. And but we got the motor pulled and sent back to Schofield, and he fixed it. And that guy is committed, and he is definitely Schofield's I'm talking about. He is definitely on the team to make this thing thrive. And so he has been in our tent every day this week, making sure everything's right, and the thing sounds good, it's running good. I'm happy. We've got it worked out, and it wasn't until probably the day before the race that I looked at him smiling cheek to cheek and just said, "Fuck, we're ready."
Well, and to your credit, I mean, you wanted this thing as dialed as it could be, and that day I got to meet Schofield in your tent, and watching him with his laptop on your hood and you know, testing whatever he's testing, and he had this whole graph up there on the screen, right? All the air fuel ratio, I guess, is what was going on, and revving the engine and watching the marker move across the screen, and he's making his little adjustments and revs it up again and makes adjustments. I mean, it's going down to a gnat's ass at that point. But you were not, you know, you were getting to that finite point of like, it's running good, but it could be better. You knew it could be better, and he kept tuning it in.
There were some little nuisance things that were happening, and that's all they were. The thing was running like a bat out of hell. You know, it was running great. All the numbers were great, and you know, but that you know, neither of us are settling. You know, we want it to be right.
Yeah.
And you know, he's put in the time, and he's, you know, one full day I'd go out and run and come back, and he'd make changes and upload the data and data logging, and then look at it. And he even came for a ride with me to feel what it was doing. And
oh, that's cool.
And you know, we stayed after it, and yeah, it you know, it all got straightened out. Everything got touched, and something we touched fixed it.
Wow,
so,
that's cool. It's amazing now. I mean, thinking back to the quote unquote old days of, you know, a carburetor, and rejetting a carburetor was your option, and moving the distributor to advance or retard timing. That's what we had to work with. Yeah. And now all that shit, you go into every single pit here, and they've got laptops plugged into their cars adjusting shit.
It's been tough because, you know, Schofield's from Alabama and I'm from Northern California, and, you know, you can sit there and you know, review data and data log and look at all the numbers, and everything looks great, but until you can get out and hear it and see it, and you know
put it through its paces.
I mean, it's been awesome. I'm stoked he came out. I'm stoked I got to spend as much time with him as I have been, and that we got it right. It's a good feeling.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Because it is mean, man.
Yeah,
he tells me there's more, and we can put more in there, and I'm like,
really,
give it all to me, James. Let's go.
When we walked into your pit the second day we were here, I think it was Sunday, right?
Second day you were here.
First day I was here, and I was, man, the way that thing was chopping, I'm like, oh shit.
It is. I've been around a lot of crazy V8s over my years in motorsports, and that car has just an awesome fucking sound.
When we did Vegas to Reno, we just had some little resonators on there.
Right.
I told Keith, I was like, man, I'm not going to be able to hear in a year if I keep driving this thing. And, you know, it's actually toned down now from where it was.
Sure.
We did put some glass packs on it and try to get it a little bit more quiet. Still loud, still sounds
rowdy.
nasty and rowdy.
Yeah.
And, but yeah, it's toned down now, if you can believe it, from what it was.
No, I know. 'Cause I heard it.
I hadn't heard it before, but it sounds pretty rowdy.
So that's cool. So what, you know, the evolution of your racing career, you started out in a Bomber.
No, actually, I started out in a Twisted Customs replica.
Okay.
Doing cone dodging, and
that's
then
right.
I think I've told the story on here before, but me and Greg and Chris were down here at King of the Hammers.
Right.
I want to say it was like in 14 or 15. We were pitting with SEI, Sterndal Enterprises, and that's where I got started. Was just got involved with that team, and was, you know, eyes on the hill, watching the course and relaying, you know, information and fueling and in the pits, and so that year we're down. Chris, my brother Chris, and Greg Johnson were sitting in Sunbonnet in our rock crawlers, and we said, we got to do this thing. You know, we were watching them go up the hill, and we said we could wheel with these guys.
Yeah.
And at the time, I had some, you know, Twisted Customs replica car, and said, hey, let's do it, and made the poor decision to do that. And we learned a lot about driveline angles and other things that, you know, attribute to trying to go fast, that are really important. And we turned that car into a racer, raced the 4800 class, I want to say in 2018, which is when we met Zandy.
Okay.
And that's when that whole thing started. And Zandy was down here representing another car. But he hung out with us all week. And we met the boys from Australia. And that's where things started for us. And it was like, then the next year we came out with the Bomber.
Right.
You know, that Twisted Customs car was not gonna get us to where we wanted to be. And, limited up travel and wheelbase and stability, and so the Bomber was a huge upgrade from there, and started racing the Bomber and did 4 KOHs in the 4400 class, and we did one more race after that in the 4800 car, which is when I let Pip Justice drive it. Once I qualified in the 4400 car, I think that was 2019, and and then watching that Bomber go away on a trailer, it was like we gotta do something. I'm not ready to say goodbye to this.
You
sport
had
yet.
that Bomber dialed too.
It's
right?
good, and Josh is still killing it in that car too.
Yeah, So,
Soul.
So, that was your car right in front of you during qualifying, right?
That's correct. Yeah,
Isn't that wild?
He's made a few changes to it, but man, he's got that thing dialed. He looked really good in qualifying.
So when you called me up and you're like, dude, I think I just sold the Bomber, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing right now? Because that car was freaking dialed, and Josh sold it, and then you were like questioning life decisions at that point, like what the hell did I just do? But you were committed at that point because you go, I want to do an IFS car.
I did. I made the decision. I talked to quite a few builders, fabricators, and kind of weighed a few options and decided that we were going to go a different direction and go after IFS and portals, and was really impressed with Keith Beam and in my interviews with him and some of the pictures he showed me of what he wanted to do, and chose to do that, and zero regrets, man. Keith is a mad scientist, and he does not settle. He'll lose sleep over it and making sure everything's perfect, and that was an awesome process. I'm glad it's done, and we're getting to enjoy the fruits of all that,
right?
And get these tires on the ground and get back to racing again, and my pocketbook's happy about that too. I got to a point where I was ready to call Lorenzo and tell him we're bringing the donkey show out. We need to make some money here.
I know. And you guys were pushing to have the car on the lake bed last year, and it just wasn't going to be where everybody wanted it. And that's a tough decision because you got to wait another fucking year.
It was tough. Last year, the car had, mounted engine. It was a roller. If you looked at it, you would say, why aren't you racing? And it still had quite a bit of work that needed to be done to it. But if we would have pushed it, we would have. It's nice to be able to go out and do another race and go out and do all the testing and tuning. I mean, I've got 16 hours with Wayne tuning those shocks. Wow. We wouldn't have been able to do that if we would have pushed it. All this work that I've been doing with James would have been rushed with Schofield, and Keith really had the mindset and mentality to talk me off the cliff and to just say, we're not doing it.
Yeah,
it's not. You don't want to do it. Let's set ourselves up for success and be patient.
That's adulting right there. That's a tough decision. You're like, you invested all this time and effort into this thing and push, and then you get to that point, a few weeks before the race going, this ain't gonna happen, and it sucks, but.
As a racer, it's really hard. You get selfish. You don't care. You got the FOMO. You don't want to miss out on anything.
Yeah.
And to sit out one more year is, that like I said, I sat out 3 years of Ultra 4400. I snuck in a razor race.
That's right.
But that, that's not the same.
It didn't.
Those things are fragile.
It didn't itch that scratch, did it?
Power douche coupe.
But. Yeah, it was the right decision, and you told me, you go, okay, well, we're not doing Hammers, but we're doing Vegas to Reno, so that was the new goal, and you got the car up and running for that race, and that turned out to be a good shakedown run. I think you did all of the quote unquote Ultra 4 race, right? But you were going for the full.
I wanted to do the full 500.
Yeah, the full 500, and talk about that. Because we haven't had a podcast with you since then.
We haven't had a podcast since I announced that we were going to be building this car, and it was at that point it was still just a concept, and it's been too long.
Yeah,
I know Jason, you and I keep in touch, and I see Chris around, but it's good to be back on the show again and to share some of this information, and it's been a grind, man. It's at times like you start doing that, and I do okay, but to build this type of race car, it's a lot. There's a lot of sacrifices that had to be made by my family, and we did that. And I thought, when I started doing this, is this going to be a 5-year project? How are we going to get this done? And so to have that behind us and to make those sacrifices and to be able to build a killer car, feels like a huge accomplishment. And
Absolutely.
I couldn't be more happy with the process that I went through with Keith and keeping it on track. And it was such a pleasant experience working with Keith. It was just, can't say enough good things about Get Bent Fab Works. His crew, John, Jesse West, John Tenney, all of them are such talented individuals, and there's such attention to detail on every little thing and the prep that they go into it. I mean, we came out here with a car that was ready to go, and it shows. I mean, we pulled the panels off. We've put about, I think your original question was tell me how many miles.
No.
So
we'll get back to that, but this is good stuff.
We've put about, since we've been out here, I think I've maybe put 120 miles on the car.
Okay.
And so we ran the first desert lap. We got into some rock trails. I did Vegas to Reno, 277 miles. All the tuning with Wayne, but it's still a very fresh car. And Jesse West and I, he's been helping me in the pits. We tore it down to tore all the panels off just to look at it and make sure it was ready for the main race on Saturday. And the thing looks perfect.
You literally just have to wipe it down with a fucking diaper, and
we're gonna WD-40 it, clean it. We nut and bolted it already after qualifying. Put a little bit of lift on it, get it a little bit higher for the rocks, and we're gonna send it, man. The thing's been great. It's just a testament to the work that Get Bent Fab Works does. I mean, that thing is prepped and ready to go.
Yeah, you made that comment when I was in the pits with you and Schofield there, and you said, dude, this car got prepped to the nth degree, and that's good to hear. So, going from the Bomber solid axle car, arguably one of the best chassis on this lake bed for rock crawling, to an IFS, because that's all they talked about on the live feed yesterday. Is like, okay, we got to pick our favorite, solid axle car and our favorite IFS car,
right,
because there's such a delineation. Going from those to going to that IFS, what's your thoughts? What would you say about all that? And is it better? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Is it?
Wow. There's obviously a difference in the desert, and for me, Randy knows exactly what he wants out of his cars, and he's able to, and he will not settle, and he gets those things dialed, and it's those cars, those Bombers. I still own one. I still have the Trail Bomber.
Yeah, you got the Trail Bomber.
I love the Bomber platform, and as I was racing it, that's what I ran. That's what I was into, and for what it did, I mean, we did great in that car. We had 3 solid finishes in the 4400 class, and our top finish was 11th, and that may be something I don't do again. That's tough. The Bombers in the rocks, they excel, and a lot of, as you can imagine, that's the $1 million question that everybody's asking me this week is,
right,
what do you think about that car in the rocks? How do you think that car is going to do in the rocks? And when Keith and I were building it, we spent a lot of time, making decisions around, rocks and desert, where we wanted the car to excel. And being a rock crawler, I wanted a car that was good in the rocks.
Sure.
And so, hence the portals, a little bit more clearance. And then, Keith worked tirelessly to get as much steering out of the car as we can get. And we may have sacrificed a little bit of travel, not much, but to me, that 1 inch of travel was worth the extra few degrees of steering.
Okay.
And so you'll see the uniball orientation. Some are vertical, some are horizontal. Ours is in a horizontal. That allows us to get a little bit more steering.
Okay.
Yeah. And so those were the decisions we made. And I will say, the few rock trails I've had it in, which is about 4 total. You know, I'm a rock crawler. I'm not too worried about the rock crawlers or the rock trails.
Yeah.
But I wanted to feel how it was going to do and how it's steered, and you know, the gearing's there and the transmission and transfer case, and you know, that feels great. The steering's there, and the car feels really stable. So I'm excited. It is heavier than a bomber. So it's going to be, you know, when people ask me, I smile.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to see how it does, and I feel pretty confident that thing's going to wheel.
So are you going to, I mean, since you've taken this car out into the desert to do some pre-running and whatnot, and obviously having your previous experience in a solid axle bomber, are you, I mean, your confidence in carrying more speed in the desert, is that carrying, you know, is that the next level stuff?
This car rides like a Mason Trophy truck. In the desert. It is the smoothest you could imagine. I mean, at Vegas to Reno, I got out of the car after 277 miles, and I was like, what are we doing next?
That was it. He was unscathed.
I mean, it's smooth. It doesn't beat you up. Yeah, it's got the power behind it. It's, you know, hopefully it allows us to get to those rocks and have clean air in front of us. So put a lot of the field behind us, and we can excel in the desert.
To that point, so when you guys finished qualifying yesterday, Rory is your co-dog.
Rory Romero,
Yep, Rory Romero. And he got out of the car so your daughter could get in for a little run out in the desert. I go, dude, how was it? He goes, this thing's like floating on a cloud. He goes, it is so smooth.
When you dropping that, you know, we jumped that little ridge, which I don't know, was it like 6 feet, 5 or 6 feet?
Coming down the hill.
Coming down the hill there.
Yeah.
You know, I could say you don't feel it, but until you're in the car and you realize how smooth it is, and those are how do you feel about your qualifying run? Well, you know, with the limited seat time I have in that car, I'm still learning that car. You know, 600 miles total on the car, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm still learning that car in different positions and different circumstances, how it's gonna handle. But I'm always impressed with what it does and how it handles whatever situation I throw at it. And so with more seat time, you know, we're gonna get better. We're gonna get more confidence, and we're gonna realize, you know, where we can excel and where potentially we have to pull back. But it is a weapon, and I realize these guys who have had these cars have been cheating, and now we're back and we're here to play.
Yeah, we got the cheat code. So what percentage from 0 to 100 would you say, because you've done a lot of racing in the past, for your qualifying lap, what percentage would you say you were at? You know, you weren't at full kill mode. You weren't at, it's a fucking wreck wheeling day. What percentage would you say you were, like,
How hard
does that make sense? Like, how hard were you pushing? What were you
It does. Qualifying, you know, we talked about not sleeping the night before. Qualifying is a different animal.
Yeah.
You know, you have a short period of time to go out there and show what you got. And so, you know, where I'm at in this car right now, I'd probably say, you know, there's more, you know, as I learn it, I'm going to push it harder. But where I was yesterday, it was probably 95%.
Okay.
I would say I go out to qualify, and I know, it's the Rufus camp, it's our camp.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be on the top of that group. Right. You know?
I was right next to Rufus's pit right there, because you guys started right across from Rufus on the start line there for the qualifying. And, they all had their phones out and everything and cheering you on, so that was cool to see.
It's one of those where you go out and you push it, and then all of a sudden you step back and you look at the list of people that are around you, and you're like, oh, shit, what are we in for? You know, there's some big names on that list.
Did you watch Paul Wolf's qualifying run?
I did.
And what did you think of that?
That's what makes me think I got to get more out of this car. And there is more, but it's just getting to that level of confidence. When he was at the top of that hill to drop it, the second rock section we did, you could see how he attacked that line from the peak all the way down to the bottom. And I may have been a little bit more careful at the top and then when I was about halfway down, I picked my line. So it's learning for me. This is my mindset and what I'm thinking of. It's at the top of that hill, picking my spot at the bottom and realizing my car will handle everything between point A and point B. Get to point B, eyes up, throttle down, ride the brakes a little bit, gas it through there, and send it. So, and you watch how he did that, and he looked smooth, and I did hit a rock on the way down, and I didn't kill a tire, but there was we're talking inches from killing a tire. And those are the things, is that I am a competitive person, and those are the areas where I do want to get faster. I want to get more confidence, and with seat time, I think it's achievable.
Oh yeah, 100%. No, you've always been, focused on fastest time. You're a very, I don't know if aggressive is a word, but
it's the word.
Yeah, you're a passionate guy, and you're so focused on this. And then let's face it, you've poured a lot of heart and soul into this car, along with a bunch of other people, and it's like, and you're not afraid to let it rip.
There's a lot of drivers out there that you talk to, and they don't listen, and they know it all. And I always try to be humble and learn from people around me, and watch the people that have gotten us here. There's a lot of talent in that top 20, and you watch those people, and there's a lot to learn there in their mentality and how they drive. And I'll remain humble. I'll remain, willing to learn. And I think every time I talk to anybody, whether it's Schofield or Keith or, my brother or Justin, I'm trying to listen to what they have to say and, learn from all of them. And that's only going to make us all better. That's what I'm, I want to win this race. I wouldn't have built this car if I didn't. And It's been a dream since Greg and Chris and I, and we're sitting in the Canyon of Sun bought it.
Exactly.
I don't do it to come in, 10th or to get a finish. And it's something I want to do, but realistically, I know it's gonna be a journey to get there.
Yeah.
And there's real talent in this field that can't be taken lightly. Because saying you want to do it and doing it are there's a big difference there. And we just gotta keep working hard and keep learning and get more and more seat time. And I think that's the that's what's on the mix for this year.
No, 100%. Go ahead.
So I was just you want to win, and I mean, kind of working off of that a little bit, looking at the talent that's in the 4400 class. We just talked about Paul Wolf, and obviously the guy's an incredible wheel man, and he's an aggressive driver, and of course you have the Gomez brothers, and you've got the
Campbell with a new setup this year, new motor.
That's right. The list goes on and on and on. And obviously we talk about mechanical sympathy, we talk about that luck factor, we've talked about respecting your team and kind of what does that mean, respecting your team? It's like, don't go out there and do stupid things to the car and not understand, because you see the teams that'll sacrifice everything to get the car put back together if the driver makes a big mistake because their ego got too big. So
or they ran out of talent. So I guess what I want to know is, have you kind of figured out a strategy for your race? How are you going to approach this race? Obviously lap 1 and 2 are established. Lap 3 is, before the show, you and I were talking that they're going to be dropping the map during contingency and tech on Friday. So what's your plan?
Yeah, the plan was to get down here and see everything. And so we brought the trail bomber down. Chris brought his, and my buddy Greg's got a Jimmy's buggy that thing rips. And he keeps up with us and doesn't slow us down. And he knows we're at pre-run speed. And so we've seen all of lap 1. We've ran, the trails, and then we've also ran all of lap 2. We don't know lap 3, like you said. There's some things coming out. Seeing that, and now seeing qualifying and knowing who's around me, now I'm starting to think about that strategy of how I want to go out, where I want to be. it's a lot to think about. Right now, you know, the mechanical sympathy, I have a car that's built with all the best parts and strongest parts.
Yep.
You know, and my axle shafts and the portals, you know, I have 45 spline rear gun drilled, and the portals and the 40 spline in the front, you know, and the reduction, you're saving, you know, fatigue on those parts. And in my mind, I'm saying these give you the opportunity. I mean, you saw my tie rods and those rod ends, but those things are so beefy, and you start thinking what could take those out, you know,
right.
And it's all new technology. So in my mind, I'm thinking, let's send it, you know,
Yeah.
let's see, you know, let's go and be fast in the desert and pass some people, and let's see where we could end up. But I always drive with a level of sympathy for the vehicle. I know some people just hang it all out there, and I'm not quite there yet. But I think, you know, run the car, keep it safe, keep it on all fours. Don't do anything stupid. Drive within yourself. It's probably going to be, you know, get out of town, off the start-finish line, take a deep breath, relax. All the hard work is now behind you. Now you get to go out and have fun. Keep this car in one piece. Finish at a quick pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, and hopefully at the end of the day, you know,
You're on the podium.
we're in a spot where we can compete on lap 3, and you know, we'll see what happens. I've said it 4 or 5 times. There's a tremendous amount of talent in this field, and there's a tremendous amount of talented fabricators that have built these cars.
Yeah.
And so to come out here thinking, oh, I've got a badass car, I'm going to win it. No, because these people get way more seat time than I do. And realistically, you know, I still have to have a really good day, and a lot of people have to have a bad day to put this thing on the podium.
I mean, yeah, and that's a good perspective, because you've seen it. We've all seen it out here. People with more dollars than cents that throw a bunch of money at, you know, a car or whatever. You gotta have a driver, a wheelman behind that, and you gotta have luck. I mean, this place is just relentless on freaking vehicles, and but knowing you and, you know, getting to know Keith and this car is just awesome. I mean, the recipe's there, so hopefully Zandy's looking down on you on fucking Saturday and gives you a little push in the areas where you need it, and tells you to fucking slow down where you need to slow down, and it happens, you know. We're rooting for you 100%, man. I told you guys before this that I'd probably get emotional during the podcast. It's the friends and like the support. It's those types of comments that get me, like, realizing how many people are in our corner, right?
And how many people want, you know, me and Justin to do well, and how many people come down here just to help us. And just getting text from friends and family, and, you know, everybody who's watching at home every step of the way and asking questions, and it's amazing, you know, the amount of people that are tuned in and that you know, that care, you know.
Yeah.
And it's definitely don't want to let them down, and definitely want to give everybody something to be excited about on Saturday.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, the race family strong. Okay, sure. How at this race 3, you know, lap 3 of the race. So last year was the first year they did we're going to announce it on Friday afternoon.
It's super secret.
And you can't pre-run it, and there's game cameras out there, and we're going to disqualify you if you pre-run it. What's your thoughts about all that? Do you like that? Is it a stupid idea? What are your thoughts on secret lap 3?
I think it's cool. I think a lot of these teams have the resources to go out and pre-run everything, and to have a little element of surprise. I think that's cool. You know, when they first ran this race, they didn't get the course. They found out that day.
Right.
The checkpoints you actually had to sign in on. And,
right.
You know,
right. Exactly.
You know, so, you know, now with all the VCPs and RCPs and, you know, your navigation and you know, you can look at a track and know where you're going, but then you get into that trail and there's an RCP over there. You got to get into that RCP. And so pre-running does make a huge difference. And so to go into some areas that you're not able to pre-run, and you don't know, and potentially trails we've never run before, and that happens. I think last year there was a couple trails. I didn't race last year, but there's a couple trails that hadn't been run, and this year it's there's some rumors out there of what they may or may not be, whether we're going up them or down them. And
yeah, they dropped a few hints last night at the drivers' meeting.
And then also I guess during the live show yesterday, which I wasn't watching because I'm getting ready and racing, and so. Yeah, but at this point, pre-running's closed, and so we don't find out until we go through contingency on Friday. And as we go through contingency, we'll stop in front of PCI, and they'll load the file into our car.
Right.
Honestly, I like it. I hadn't thought about it much, but I think it's a really good thing for our sport, and it gives the people watching, a little bit more element of surprise or cliffhanger on your edge of your seat watching to see what these rock trails are going to look like and to see what's ahead of us and what kind of how Dave is going to try to narrow the field even more, and if he's trying to get only 5 finishers one year,
builds the drama. I mean, it totally builds the drama. And I mean, thinking about, I left early last year to get home for some other family related stuff, but I did have the opportunity to watch the live stream. I paid for the premium feed. And I mean, watching the cars that had made it to the third lap, especially those two side by sides, the one that had the front end completely break off, basically. I mean, yeah, it's gonna, as you just mentioned, it's gonna thin the field quite a bit. It's a war of attrition, and I think that third lap, the unknown third lap, depending on where they end up going, there's some gnarly trails that could break some cars.
There is, and I think he even threw out a bounty of $1,000 if somebody drives back door.
Oh, really?
Did you guys hear that?
Oh, yeah, I heard that. That was something
because we have to go up back door on 1 or 3, which you knew we had been talking about that.
Yeah,
like it's the 20th anniversary. Of
gotta go back to back door.
You can't have a KOH without back door. So we kind of in our group, I think a lot of groups were probably talking about we're going up back door at some point. And so we've done that in the past. So there's going to be a strategy there too as to when you choose to go up back door, and then if he's putting a bounty on it, is it worth it? Probably not. But
right,
there's always tempted to say, let me just give it one shot.
as a driver, and I kind of already know your answer to this question, but as a driver, does it give you any anxiety of like not knowing what trails you're running?
It makes me want to get there in the daytime.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm not, when I was doing cone dodging trails or Cal Rocks and up at Donner Ski Ranch, I mean, they used to point us at things, and you're like, you want me to drive
there
off
was
that?
Some insane lines there. I missed that rock crawling event immensely, and that's where I was going with this, because with your background of doing some crazy-ass rock crawling, cone dodging shit, and now with the car that you have and all the experience you have under your belt, it's like, dude, just point me in the direction. Where do we need to go? So
let's stay on that topic for a little bit. When I first got into Ultra 4, I used to always think that it should be a prerequisite to go do some cone dodging.
There you go.
Because so many people out here have so much money, and they buy these freaking cars, and they go out wheeling, and they don't have a clue how to rock crawl.
Just
the experience that I got with doing Supercrawl with Jesse Haynes and Cal Rocks, and having Jesse set these courses where you're like, we're going up that, or we're dropping that, and to realize what cars are capable of and how they react in certain situations, and how to pick your lines and your exits, and to realize where you can run it out and where you can't, and how you need to settle it, and that's some that's something it's an experience I have, and I've earned, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
And I think it helps us in these types of races. So when we get to
100%.
that lap 3, I think I've got a good ability to pick lines in rock courses, and now having 800 horsepower, let's see how that lines up with these lines I want to do.
Well, technically, I think I don't know if there's any. Well, there are people in the field that are go fast guys from other motorsports, but I mean, it seems like the guys that that are living in the mountains that have access to the hardcore rock crawling trails, whether they're living down this in the valley, the desert here, or in Arizona, or if they're in the high Sierra, like in the Truckee area, and they have access to the Rubicon or Fordyce. But those technical rock crawler guys, they're all over. A lot of them are in the field here, and they seem to do very well, as just like you. Yeah. So I think that's kind of, like you said, a prerequisite.
It is, and gosh, it's so crazy. Like we had such a good crew back then when we were doing a lot of rock crawling, and we found some gnarly trails all over Nevada, and it's a lot of those guys still reach out to me and they send me the hey, good luck, good job, and it makes me think back to those times when we were rock crawling, because once I started racing, I kind of lost touch with a lot of those guys that were really good friends that are pushing us to the limits on all these trails and exploring northern Nevada and what it had to offer as far as trails. And one of their kids is actually camping with us, and I sent him a text the other day. I said, hey, Brian, Gage is now camping with us. It's such a trip to see him here, and it's two different worlds that come as one. We're both fans of the other, but yeah, it's it helps out a lot, and it's a good sport overall, right?
Absolutely. So I've had the privilege of riding in your rig on a trail ride, and I still think about that day, and seeing your capabilities, your driving skill, coupled with the trail bomber and some of the obstacles you drove down and back up with me as your passenger. I keep remembering, when we went down to the river crossing on Fordyce, and then we played on those steep slabs coming back out of that area, and then ran the trail back up to Winch Hill 3. And at that point, it was, the day had been getting long and we're all getting a little tired, but I remember you pulling into Winch Hill 3 and you looked over at me and said, what do you want me to do? And I just looked back and said, it's your car, it's your party, man. Do whatever you want.
You gotta be careful when you say that.
Yeah, that's a pretty ballsy statement.
And you partied.
Well, yeah, and that's a good trail right there. Winch Hill 3 has a lot to offer.
It does.
And this last year we had a great time on Winch Hill 3. We had we went. I think we did every line, dropped it upwards, backwards, pillow line, drop pillow line, up pillow line. I mean, we were, and then Randy's there, and Randy hasn't been in a trail car for a long time. And I said, Randy, go get in my car, and he did. He looked at me and he said, don't tempt me with a good time.
Right.
Can you hear him saying that?
Oh yeah, I can totally hear him saying that.
I said the keys are in it, and he knows there's no freaking key.
Yeah, right. It's a switch.
And so I look down, and all of a sudden I see him walking towards it, and it'd been a while since he'd been in one of those, and he got out of that thing smiling. He sent me a text and said, hey, I got to get me one of those again. He misses it, and those cars are fun. Those trail bombers are they're amazing. It's just like, they're so stable, and we put it on its side with you in the car.
Oh, yeah. Top of 5, yeah. That's one of Chris's highlights of his off-road career.
You get to a point where you feel so confident in what it can do, and you start to lean, but it's so stable. You're like, oh, it'll pull out of this.
Yeah,
Then we lay it down.
There was a really gnarly hole in that second ledge on Winch Hill 5 that you laid it down. You got a little out of shape. And then you said, I got this. And you're working the forward, reverse, working the steering wheel. And then it went, and you said, okay, we're done.
Game over.
I've got a complex where I don't want to back up.
No.
I want to one-shot everything.
Well, and that's what it takes to win. And that's a good point of that whole story that you just told, Chris, because that's how I know Eric. And, it's fun wheeling with you because you push my limits. And just like when I'm wheeling with Randy or something, I'm back in my mind, I'm like, why the fuck am I following these guys? But then when I get done at the end of the day and we make it back to camp safe, it's like, okay, I learned a few things. I push my limits a little bit too. And it's gotten me to where I am today, which is nowhere near you guys racing out here. But I have a lot more confidence now behind that wheel than I had 2-3 years ago. And that's fun, and that's what it takes. You got to get your buddies out there and push it a little bit within reason.
We push the limits, but what we're able to do in the rocks now, with these cars, the race cars, the speed that we're going up these trails, you'd have to see it to believe it. I mean, you get a little visibility on, like, if you're out there watching at Chocolate Thunder, you know, we're in that trail for 2 minutes.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You know, but when we're in Clawhammer and you watch the clip that these cars can go up Clawhammer, we were in Clawhammer the other day and the Blylers were coming through, and it was the Blylers and Casey Gilbert, and I'm in the Trail Bomber thinking I'm making a good clip up it, you know, but it's not a race car. And you watch Rusty.
yeah.
That guy can frickin' wheel, and the speed that he goes up these trails, it's like, okay, this is what we got to do.
Yeah.
You know, this is where, you know, you're in a car that's smooth, but we're gonna make it hurt.
Yeah.
and it's gonna take it.
Yeah.
And
When
so
I explain to people what this event is like, you know, and it's I go back to when Jason and I ran Outer Limits, whatever, 4 or 5 years ago. You know, that trail took us a few hours to get up. I mean, we stopped a couple of times.
Yeah, it's wreck wheeling, but
whatever. But I mean, I say that same trail, which is a 10 out of 10. The race cars are going up in 5-10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, Dave also mentioned something in the drivers' meeting this year on how he's going to have trail times, and so, like, we're going to be able to tell who was the fastest through each trail.
really,
I'm pretty sure I heard that, and so I haven't heard much talk about it, but
boy,
it's the tracking is just getting tighter and tighter, and statistics in any sport continue to grow. But to know who the fastest is through Spooners, who the fastest is through, you know, Clawhammer, and through some of these harder trails, it's going to be a cool. And I guess he's going to put that on the video game, so when people play the video game, they're going to see if they can beat you up the trail.
That's cool. That's cool.
Holy moly.
Gamify it. Gamify
Absolutely,
it.
absolutely.
Everybody loves the gamification of things.
Yeah, that's why we got to keep hammers going, man.
There was
This place is
some
crazy.
total rabbit trail here, but I got something on my phone a couple weeks ago, and it was, I don't know how I got on it, but it was some like betting thing of what's the percentage of Dave Cole getting angry during the drivers' meeting. And I just looked at it this morning, it was 85%, and I don't know what it all calculated out to be. He didn't get angry
So
during the
there are
drivers'
lines
meeting
in
this year, but
Vegas for King
I
of the
think
Hammer?
I think there are, and yeah, no, you can bet on anything is what I'm getting at. But
Of course.
it was kind of funny.
Look up. Let's see here. Eric Wicks. What's his line on the board?
Yeah, where's he at? What's
who's
the
that
odds?
guy?
What's the odds? I'll take those odds.
So let's. I mean, Eric just mentioned something, and this is important because he said something about keeping hammers alive.
Oh, I will rant if you want me to.
Oh, here we go.
Well, we want to have these prominent people, important people that come on the show. We want to have their opinions on what goes on out here during Hammer's 2.5 weeks. I mean, the level of craziness has definitely grown, and obviously it's highlighted quite often on social media. So what are your thoughts on that?
It's important to understand that the rock crawlers built this. We came up here. We've been wheeling this place. Dave created a race. The OG 13. Hammers wasn't what it was, but over the years, you look at how this thing has grown, and you look at the old school shootouts that we used to have.
Oh, those were great.
And you look at how many people lined the canyons of Backdoor, and when you watched Randy ripping up those and winning Backdoor in his bomber, and one shot in it, and the crowd going nuts, and that's where you kind of got an idea that this sport it's got the ability to grow, and it's got the ability to be something really special, and over the years it turned into more and more. And I don't know if you guys remember that guy coming up in his big monster truck. He was Hollywood something. I don't
Or was it
remember
Hell's Bells? Or-
No, it wasn't Hell's Bells. It was the white truck, and everybody in the crowd is thinking, "Oh, this guy's going to drive up Backdoor," and he stops and he gets out and he starts dancing on this hood. You guys remember that? I'm talking like 2013
Okay, yeah,
or so.
yeah,
It's
going way back.
Before me.
But you start to see the spectacle that people were into,
Yeah.
and we built that, the racers built that, and Dave brought the people to the lake bed, and it's kind of just continued to grow. And now we don't do the backdoor shootout anymore.
No, I was going to
and
say the backdoor shootout is missed.
Been brought into town, but I think what he did was he whet that appetite for a lot of debauchery.
That's a great word.
And it kind of, now you get, people doing it on their own, and it's not organized. And it's a fucking goon fest, and these guys are going to ruin it for all of us, and the fights and all that stuff, and the fireworks, and it's like, here we are, we've built this amazing place to race, and we've been doing it for 20 years, and that's unheard of on BLM land, and
in California.
To see that's at risk of losing because of a few people that probably are not out here to watch the race, and they're not out here to do anything but party and be freaking goons,
to fight and get drunk,
and get social media famous.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
And then it's there's a lot of influencers, and I get it, the influencers, but everybody's trying to get their likes, and that's something I've not really been into.
No.
In this circumstance, it's ruining King of the Hammers, and it's threatening our sport. And if this gets shut down because of stupid shit like that, like, we've all got huge investments here.
Exactly.
I didn't build my car to go do Baja. I built it to do King of the Hammers. And so we need to make sure that this sticks around. That's my rant.
No,
well said.
That was very very well said, and
on point.
Yeah, didn't get as angry as I thought you were, but I can feel it. No, that's a great point, and it has gotten so big, and that's exactly it, the debauchery that's going on out there. So I was down.
It's also the sloppiness, right?
It is.
I mean, you look at what the gamblers posting and how much trash they're picking up.
Oh yeah.
It's how hard is it to pack out your freaking beers?
They don't care.
Your cooler will hold what you brought. Throw them back in the cooler.
And it sucks because the reality is, let's just say there's 80,000 people on this desert floor right now for the race. Okay? 99.9999% of them, that's not the problem. It's these stupid, as big as this is, an 80,000 number, let's say it's 100, 200 people that are causing problems.
Right.
And it reflects badly on all of us. I mean, I got texts the last couple of days from people that know what I do. We go off-roading and we're here and all that stuff, and they're like, "Oh my God, are you scared for your life down there?" They think the whole fucking operation is like that. It's not.
No.
And that's the image that's getting portrayed out there, and it's stupid, and everybody loves a fucking train wreck, and they got to post it online to get a million likes or some viral view, and it's killed our momentum of how cool this sport is. We'll get beyond it, I know, because this event is bigger than that, but it really sucks, and I got to hear Dave's frustration firsthand because my back was up against the fence when Randy and Amber were qualifying, and shit was going down. I heard some shit, and I feel Dave's pain because he shouldn't have to deal with that, and it gets tagged as a King of the Hammers event. Chocolate Thunder nighttime activities are not a King of the Hammers event.
Well, they shut it down, right?
And then they shut it down. Well, that was it. So that was
first time ever.
First time ever it's been shut down, and it sucks because. Like, I remember going back out in the day and going. I mean, we had some great nights wheeling out there. At 10, 11 o'clock at night, not at fucking 2 a.m.
Right.
But we felt comfortable going out there. I haven't been out there in 4 years because I don't feel comfortable going out there anymore. And same with Backdoor. I remember going out there, and that was the last straw for me was 4 years ago. A guy lit a mortar off right behind me. I mean, up in the air, not into the crowd. That was before they were shooting them into the crowd.
Right.
But I'm like, dude, that's freaking an explosion going off fucking 2 feet from my back. And I'm like, I'm out of here. And then that was the year that the kid got...
The baby.
Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck is going on right now?
I mean, you nailed it, too. I've got friends sending me those Instagram posts saying, this is where you are. Yeah. This is what you're doing. And, and I'm like, it's totally... That's
not us.
That's 3 miles from where we are, but... It's part of it's turned into part of the event and why
Yeah.
people come out here, and it's
Yeah.
just got out of hand. But no, that's not why I do this. I'm
No.
down here for
Exactly.
to race,
And most
the
of us
races-
are.
Yeah.
The vast
For
majority.
me, the race is
are.
where it's at. And,
Yeah.
you know.
So it was interesting too with the Dave saying no fireworks, and oh my God, we've had minimal fire. I mean,
Isn't that
I've
crazy?
literally I thought for sure we'd still have people flipping Dave off, going, I don't care, I'm still doing it. And we've had I mean, I've literally seen
There's a
maybe
pop
dozen,
here and there. Yeah.
maybe a dozen fireworks, and I've been out on this lake bed for a week and a half.
A rumor had it, and I don't know if it's true or not, that a group of people that popped off a fairly large number of fireworks earlier in the week, they were something happened with them in the middle of the night, and when people woke up that were camping next to them the next morning, said that campground or campsite was completely empty.
Something happened. We don't hurt people, but sometimes people get hurt, like the mafia.
No, it's like they were
They just disappeared?
They were
Buried
just,
in Johnson Valley.
they were just told to pack up and leave right now.
Well, and that's good, and yeah. So, anyways, that was my whole point of that, is that we do police our own, but those people are not us.
Correct.
Those people are not us, and that's the
They're
message.
coming
that
out here
needs
for
to
the
get out.
night.
They're
not
coming out
staying-
here to fuck around.
It's the weekend. It's Friday,
Yeah,
Saturday night.
it
It gets
is.
crazy, and
So,
know.
yeah. Anyways,
but it's got to stop.
it's got to stop.
It's got to be toned way back.
Yeah, and I'm glad it got shut down. I'm glad there's always been police activity or sheriffs and BOM out there, but I mean, how do you stop that thing? But
Well, they're getting smarter. They've got sweet razors now.
Oh,
and they're flying
They have a
drones.
sand rail.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some shit in their camp. I'm like, man, you guys got some nice rigs right now.
They up their
Instead of
game.
just some
They up their game.
stupid little quad with a police badge on
or
the
a,
side.
or a 3/4 ton Ram. You're not going
Right?
to chase down a
Exactly.
razor.
So they got some arsenal now.
That's good. So
NARs.
we're all here for the racing. I'm looking so forward, Eric, to see you go off the start-finish line. And on Saturday morning, I can't wait. It's going to be so awesome.
So, one more thing I want to cover. I don't know what else you have, but we need to talk about the car a little bit more detail. You talked about the Schofield engine, independent front. Let's get a little bit more in the weeds with the details of your car.
Yeah, it's
King shocks.
King shocks. There's 4-inch King Kongs all the way around.
4-inch, Chris.
I know. I
4-inch.
I
That's
saw
the
that
first
when we
time
were
I
down
saw
there.
4-inch shocks.
What the hell's a King Kong?
Yeah, King worked with Keith to make sure that those 4-inch fit in the front.
Yeah.
It's got, Keith did an amazing job on the car. There's a lot of machined parts on it, some billet machined upper A arms.
Beautiful work.
So, the deeper you look into it, you'll see, billet machined brake pedal and, caliper brackets and, it just goes on and on. I mean, there's so much innovation in the car, but it's also still very simple. So it's the 74 weld portals
Yeah, up front.
up front, yeah, in
Spider track,
everything's spider tracks. Like I said, 45 spline in the back,
Holy smokes.
gun drilled, and then 40 splines with the portal reductions give it plenty of strength in the front.
So you thick as my forearm or
Yeah,
something?
pretty much. You got Gearworks diffs in there, or are you running all?
Evan Weller Racing
Yeah.
built the diffs. So there's an ARB in the front. It's we put all brushless fans in it on the transmission cooler, so 2 10-inch brushless fans keep the transmission running right, which has been, they're right where they need to be. Haven't moved. And then, cooler. Everything's
What tranny?
It's a maximum transmission. And the gearing in that thing is ridiculous. I don't need to shift into 4 low. The first gear has a 2.9 gear, so it's a granny low in the first.
Wow.
And then second and third are normal high range, and then it has overdrive fourth because it's 4L80.
It's a 4L80.
And then we have a SCS box in it with 1.27, I believe, or 2.4. I think it's 1.27 gears in that. And then there's a Magnum box, a further reduction box if we need it.
So yeah, you rarely shift into low if you have to.
No,
I mean-
if I get bound up and I have to reverse or something,
Yeah.
that's what that's for.
Okay.
But otherwise, we keep moving forward in first gear, and
Let it
depending on
rip.
what the trail looks like, maybe we do need it this year. Mm-hmm. But we've got options.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But the running gear in that thing is it's amazing. And then, the up travel, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know exactly how much suspension travel it has, but it's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot.
It's more than most, or the most. But yeah, you get that thing out on the website. You mentioned that I was able to. I kicked Rory out of the car and threw my daughter in there yesterday, and I took her for a rip. There's just not many opportunities when we're not out here.
Right.
And so she flew in she lives up in Corvallis right now, and she flew into to Reno, and her and my wife drove down, and so give her the opportunity to get a ride, and we hit triple digits, and she was just over there like, oh my gosh, Dad, and those were, I mean, we were in the whoops heading out to remote pit, and so right outside of back door, and she was, Dad, you just kept going faster and faster and faster, and I go, but it feels awesome, doesn't it?
That's
she was
cool.
smiling.
That's cool.
So yeah, she got to feel what that was all about. It was that was awesome to take her for a spin.
Hate to interrupt, but be careful of my cords.
Chris's cords. Yeah, that's cool. What a great opportunity, and awesome for both of you. I know that's special family time.
For sure.
Have everybody out here, except for your son.
Except for my son.
Jack's not here.
He's up in Dillon, Montana, pumping iron, trying to get bigger. He's got his own goals.
Yeah, and that's cool. Man,
we've covered a lot.
That car is all. Oh, fuel capacity. Do you want to talk about that a little bit? Because that was another thing that was built into that design of the car.
Yeah, we did build it. It's got a 58 usable gallon fuel tank.
58, Chris. That's more than your truck.
It's a lot
More than my truck.
So what kind of range do you get with that?
Well, we're getting about 3 miles per gallon.
So that was the thing in Vegas to
150
Reno
miles.
was one of the things we were tracking, right? And like you got these pits that we're going to, and we're like, okay, with 58 gallons, you got pretty good range, but you thought you were going to get somewhere around 2 point something, and we ended up getting over 3 miles to the gallon.
I calculated the lap one at just over 3 miles per gallon, but we weren't pushing.
Yeah.
We're not on race pace. We're pre-running. So there's a good chance we're going to be under 3 miles a gallon in that thing. Yeah. So if that's the case, we're between 120 to 150 miles.
You got good range.
Great
and
range.
this year we're looking at a 67 mile lap and 2 88 mile laps ish.
Yeah.
So we shouldn't have a problem just pitting out of Maine.
Yeah.
And then, the weight factor of that much fuel, how does that play into the dynamics of the car throughout the race? Is that something that the car is not adjustable? It's just you as a driver need to adjust to it?
Well, for now, that's the way it's going to be. I think just the lack of seat time in the car and those experiences, that's something that I'm going to learn this week.
Yeah.
How the car runs empty. And but as of now, it's, a lot of half tank and a lot of full tank testing and tuning. So yeah, we're going to have to see how that thing does.
Copy
That's
that.
when it's empty, but that's part of getting more seat time and more confidence.
It is, but I love it. I think I know you're teed up for success here, and looking forward to seeing the green flag drop on Saturday.
Woo-hoo.
No pressure, Eric. But
No pressure. Yeah. We're here. We made it. We're leaving the line.
Well, that's it.
Let's go out and drive.
You're calculated, and you got a good plan in place. So just stick with the plan and make your adjustments out on course. And lap 3 is going to be the.
And working with the new
one.
co-driver, there's a lot we're going to learn. There's a lot we're going to learn. Yeah, Rory's been working his butt off, man. I can't thank him enough for everything he's done. He's digging into the Garmin. He's never worked with the Garmin before.
Okay.
So there's a lot to learn, and so we're pushing through some of those challenges, and I'm looking forward to Rory though. He's a good guy. He's really level-headed, and he doesn't seem to be scared by our pace.
Right.
Right. So.
Yeah, and you're making your nephew really jealous. So
he's gonna do great. I was watching him. I thought he was gonna take me out at qualifying. I really did. He had a hell of a run.
He did do a great run.
That kid.
I love it.
Yeah, he knows. I mean, he had a great qualifying spot, and the way his plan is going to work out, he's going to be there.
Yeah,
he's going to be there, and he's going to be in the mix at the end. There, you watch.
Yeah, that's good. Good family fun there, and
Family fun and family competition.
yeah, I love it. It's so good. You want to shout out any of your sponsors, like you and
You, yeah. No, there's been quite a few people that have helped. We mentioned a lot of them: Maximum Transmission, Battleborn Wheels, King Shocks. You know, they've been involved, and you know they've given us a lot of support. Schofield's been great. James Schofield Performance. Always like working with James, engine builder that'll pick up when you call him, and is always texting and making sure we're on the right track.
great.
Yeah, Rugged Radios, Baja Designs. You know, they're all people that have stepped in. Yeah, but we're still looking for that.
Tires?
We're still looking for more. We can use a little more support,
Right.
as always. And you know, we're going to do a lot more races this year, and we're going to hopefully give people you know, a reason to jump behind us.
Well, you definitely got the platform for it, and I think after Saturday you'll be getting some phone calls and texts. So
Yes.
right on, man.
Well, hey, it's been a while, guys. I think it's been 2 years, and hopefully it's not another 2 years.
No.
I always enjoy hanging out and enjoy your guys' friendship. You know, outside of just the podcast, you know, we've become pretty close. So, yeah.
100%.
Thanks for having me on again.
Absolutely.
The
And,
last person to shout out to is my wife. Obviously.
the family, the wife. Yeah.
She's sacrificed a lot. She is such a sweetheart.
Yeah.
And she's my biggest fan and biggest supporter, and you know, probably my biggest sponsor. Thanks, Chelsea.
Perfect, Chelsea. That was great seeing her on the lake bed yesterday. So, awesome. Or the day before, I guess it was. No, yesterday.
They're all
It
the
was
same.
yesterday.
Every day
It's
is
all
the
a
same.
blur down here. The dust, it's a blur. It's a blur. Well, appreciate your time.
Thank you.
It's fun hanging out with you this morning on Thursday. Tech and contingency tomorrow, Friday, and then Saturday morning, 6 a.m. You'll be putting on race gear and
Ready to go.
warming up diffs, the 250 weight oil on the diffs, and all that fun shit, race shit. And
those have 240 miles warm up. We'll be
yeah,
good.
and yeah, looking forward to it, man. And then we'll share a whiskey after that.
I like it.
I can't wait for that.
Okay, perfect. It's awesome stuff, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks,
and
guys.
good luck on Saturday.
I appreciate
right.
that. Yep.
Chris, you got anything else?
Negative.
All right, with that,
We're out.